All right, welcome to my Leverage Your Voice podcast. I'm Paul Rakowitz with PR Vocal Coaching, and today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Isaac Mooberry. Did I get that right?
You sure did.
All right, welcome, Dr. Isaac, to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you bet. I'm excited, and as you know from some of our pre-show chat, that's the first time I've ever introduced myself on my own podcast. So how did I do? Did I do okay?
It sounded great indeed. So there you go.
So now people know at least who I am and you as well. So that's really exciting. We're making progress. I like it. All right. Now, of course, the first thing that happens is some big thing pops up on my screen, so I couldn't see you there. But we recovered from that too. So we're just going really well here. We're going really well, and we're making it up as we go along. So why don't you start by telling us just where you live, because that's an interesting story all by itself, because you live in a pretty nice place.
We are blessed, yes. So where I live is in Evergreen, Colorado, about an hour, 45 minutes outside of Denver. And so we live in the mountains there outside of Denver, and we get to go skiing and enjoy the great outdoors. And I've been passing by elk on my way to the office the last few days, which is pretty cool to see the male elk growing their antlers and everything in the spring here. But yeah, we get to see foxes and all sorts of wildlife, and then I get to come down in the city and help people.
That's awesome. Now I have a skiing question for Colorado. So when you go skiing, what do you take up to the top of the hill? Do you just sit in a bench seat and they take you up, or what is it that you're
how we get up to the top?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's some gondolas, so it's like an enclosed little cabin that can seat maybe about 8 people with their gear. Some of them are just more exposed chairlifts that you sit on and go on up. So each resort is a little bit different. They usually have a combination of those different lifts.
Or is it better to be in the enclosed one than on the open chairlift, or does it not really matter?
If it's windy, it's nice to be enclosed.
All right. And how long of a ski run is it when you get up there and you then say, okay, I'm headed down? Is that like 10 seconds, or how long is that to come on down?
Well, as far as a distance goes, some of the runs can be up to 3 miles long. Some of them are much shorter, so it depends on your ability. But sometimes when we're hitting it, we're enjoying probably taking a run, and it takes 2 or 3 minutes. So we often go to Winter Park. So yeah.
That's kind of cool. Well, I'm in Michigan, so our ski situations, they're not quite like that. We're down in a really quick hurry.
Yeah.
And we don't have any of the enclosed things to take us up. It's just not that far.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking. I was curious. So
yeah, it's great to be able to get outside in the wintertime and enjoy the great outdoors still, even though there's snow on the ground.
Yes, it is. Now, you guys are done with snow there now?
Well, a week ago, we had about 8 inches of snow. We lost power for about a day at our house.
Oh boy. So
but then about like 3 weeks before that, we had about 3.5 feet, and we didn't lose power. So, but usually my kids are done with school in 2 weeks, and the 2 of the last 3 years, they've had snow on the last day of school.
Wow. Is the skiing still going then too?
There are some resorts that are still open, but mostly just on the weekends right now because of it is later season.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, well, that tells us a little bit about where you live and all the fun you get to have.
Yeah.
So why don't we go from there and talk a little bit about in your business, who you help and what you do for them. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. So I am a trained chiropractor. And so in my office, we do chiropractic as one track, but then we have another track where we help women mostly, but men as well, solve health challenges. Others can't through functional lab testing to help identify where their body's not working correctly, so we can actually support the causes and not just treat symptoms. So that's what we do in our office to help people.
Awesome. A lot of times business owners will have what we refer to as an ideal client. Who might your ideal client be for your office?
Well, I'd say it's a 48-year-old female, and she is going through some changes in life where she feels like maybe her hormones are not functioning correctly, maybe perimenopausal, or digestive concerns, thyroid concerns that just have not been tested effectively. And she's looking for answers because what she's tried hasn't really addressed her concerns.
Mm. Well, I would say this, I do chat with a lot of chiropractors on this show, and I love what you guys do, and it's powerful. Any stories, I mean, you don't have to name names or anything, but some example stories of some of the outcomes that you get for people. What were they like when they came in, and how'd you help them so that that something improved for them?
Yeah, well, one of my favorite stories, this lady had been in a car accident previously. She developed headaches, and then they became migraines, and then she started developing seizures, seizures to the extent of like she was having them once a day, and they were the drop ones where she was just out. Her family would hear a thud in the house, and like, do we need to take her to the ER? Did she hit her head? Where is she at, and how is she doing? She couldn't drive, she couldn't work, it really stolen her life. And she'd been to a lot of doctor's appointments, specialists, neurologists, all sorts of imaging and testing. And after we did our intake with her, within the first month, she stopped having the seizures. She stopped having migraines. She still has some headaches, but really gave her her life back. She was able to watch her grandkids. She was able to drive. She was able to work again. So that's a favorite story of mine. But then there's definitely been ladies that have been having challenges with fertility, that they've been able to get pregnant. Some of them in as little as a month. Some of them it's taken multiple months. But seeing some of those victories and wins for people that are having challenges.
Well, that's really powerful, and that's a message that should get out to everyone everywhere, that there is help if they're having trouble like that. What kind of marketing do you do in your area to try and let people know that you're there and can help them?
Well, we do have a pretty large social media presence. We also get out in the community and do lunch and learns. We do talks as well, whether it's in our office or at a local health food store. And then also we do health fairs and patient referrals as well are the main avenues of how we attract new clients.
Cool. Do you have anything coming up in the near term that you might want to talk about, where you might be to do this, that, or the other thing?
Yeah, so the local health food store I was alluding to is called Vitamin Cottage or Natural Grocers. They're a pretty large natural food store here in Colorado, Arizona, and they're in multiple states. But we have some events coming up that are on their calendars. At each location is a little bit different, different topics.
Awesome.
So those are a pretty easy way to find us in the community, or we do have our Eventbrite page that we do post things on too.
What kind of things will you talk about when you go to a site like the grocery store there?
Yeah, so we have some different topics. One is going to be just on food allergies. Another one is cholesterol, medicine's biggest scapegoat. And then we have hope for hormones talk. We also do beyond the thyroid, so related to the thyroid, but more encompassing, as well as inflammation, leading cause for all disease.
Those are good subjects. I would say you get some people show up.
Yes, I think people are looking for a different perspective. So they're looking for answers where they haven't been able to find them yet.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What do you find when people are in situations like that? Are they generally receptive to the things you're saying, or do they keep that little veil up where they want to protect themselves and sort of challenge just to be a little leery? or do you get like the full spectrum all over the map?
If they're signing up to come to one of the events, I'd say it's about 90% receptive, and then like a 10%, where there's some skepticism. They have that shield up of like, I don't know if I'm buying what you're selling here, and so yeah, we just want to help open that perspective so people can just at least start thinking differently, and also be a better advocate for themselves so they can ask better questions, whether it's of us or another provider, or even within their own family.
Now, having a little skepticism is a good thing, and I hope everybody holds on to that. And given that, do you have a situation where somebody can say, hey, I'm interested, can I come in and visit you? How might that work?
Yeah, so what we do is we'll do like a complimentary discovery call. And so we have a way that people can sign up, and I'll provide that link so you can have that to post.
Awesome. So if I'm interested, I have some problems, and I go see you at the store there. I like what you say, but not quite sure yet, but I want to meet with you. Then I call the office, get that scheduled. I come in and you'll talk to me and try and help me understand and deal with some of the concerns that I still might have about what you're thinking and saying and wanting to do.
Yes, and we can also do that virtually. So some people live further away or in other states, and so we can accommodate that virtually as well. Same thing with our intake and testing process. We can mail things to people.
Awesome. Do you have a growing business outside of your local area, or is that just something you do occasionally?
Yeah, it's definitely a growing business, and so some of our marketing is working to reach outside of just the local geographic area that we're in.
Awesome. Well, what else do you want to tell us about your office there and the types of services that you offer? Because we spent some time on that. We spent more time on what you actually do than we did on skiing. So I'm a little concerned about our priorities here. But nevertheless, what else do you want to talk about your office there?
Yeah, I mean, I think, a lot of people are having problems, and they're trying to find answers for it, and they're not really satisfied because they're not getting the results they want, or maybe they want something besides a medication or a surgery to try to help get them over that hump, identify really what are the triggers or the causes of their problem. And so for women, for example, a lot of times they might get put on a medication, whether it's for cholesterol or blood pressure or hormone imbalance with the HRT, and their body hasn't actually even been thoroughly tested to really identify where is it not functioning the way it's supposed to. The same thing with the thyroid. A lot of times women are put on thyroid medication. They've only had one thyroid marker when there was 9 different thyroid markers you can look at to really understand how the thyroid itself is functioning. And so, we want to be thorough, provide a different perspective, find the triggers to be able to help support the body's natural physiology, and help people move out of that symptomatic model of where you're taking something for a symptom. Now let's find that root cause and support the body through supplements and herbs and lifestyle changes. Use the supplements and herbs like a crutch while you're getting your body right, and then hopefully then you don't need to be taking those as your body's healing itself and you're getting things dialed in with your lifestyle.
Have you seen clients of yours who come in with the meds and all that sort of thing eventually able to stop taking the meds?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's something we don't tell them to do. That we tell them they need to do that with their primary care or whoever it is that prescribed those medications to them. And we definitely appreciate the opportunity to work in coordination with other providers to try to help get the client to their goal and their destination where they're aiming for.
What is your website? Just say it out loud so that if somebody's watching and they want to come see, they got it.
Our website, The Wellness Way, we're the Wellness Way of South Denver. So the Wellness Way is actually a franchise. And so if you go to thewellnessway.com and then you find clinics, you can find our clinic as the Denver clinic, or the South Denver location. So yeah, that's a great way to connect with us. But then we have the social media links that we can share as well.
Yeah, we'll do that with this podcast video that we put out. Another question for you. your wife, she's also a chiropractor, right?
Yes.
But she doesn't work where you do. She has a different office.
Yeah, we tried that for a little while, and we realized within about a year and a half that it was probably better for us to not work professionally together, just from a different ways of liking to operate. And so she focuses more on pregnancy, pediatrics, neurosensory disorders with kids, and then I'm focusing more typically on the adult population and also doing the functional lab testing and supplements and herbs with people. So, but our offices are separate and distinct.
Well, that's awesome. And it's great because every doctor has their own way of interacting with people, and they need that space to do that. And it's great that you guys are working together in that way to say, hey, let's each do our own thing so that everybody's getting the best. I think that's great.
Yes, yes, there are just different ways of helping people, and there's plenty of people out there that need the help, and everybody benefits a little bit differently from different approaches.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Anything else that you want to share today? I feel like we've covered a lot of good ground here about all the different things you do.
Yeah, there's one big event that we have coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's in October, and we're expecting probably a couple hundred people to show up for that. And it's a book tour that Dr. Patrick Flynn, who's the CEO and owner of the Wellness Way, he's doing, but it's I Still Disagree. It's his book tour that just launched. It's already a bestseller, but that happened over this in the mid-April. And so he's coming out here to Denver, and that's going to be exciting to have him and a bunch of other vendors and just hear the message of, like what people that Wellness Way has been able to help and how they've been able to receive that help and how it's changed their life. And also the perspective, the different perspective that is shared and how they found the results that they hadn't been able to find yet.
That sounds like a great event. Is that a one-day event, multi-day event? What is that?
It's a Thursday, October 3rd. And we haven't dialed in the location yet, but it's going to be somewhere in the Denver metro area.
Awesome. That sounds great. I'm assuming there's going to be some food and stuff mixed into all of that?
Yeah, there will probably be some hors d'oeuvres and things like that, light snacks. But yeah, it's going to be great, and we're looking forward to having a great turnout and engaging more people and just helping them hear information that can give them a different perspective and hope and resources and allow them to be better advocates for themselves.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I asked you a couple times if there's anything else, but I got to check one more time. Anything else? Because that last one I forgot, and I'm really happy that you did not forget. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries. People are suffering. If they're looking for hope, definitely our discovery call is a great resource to be able to just ask some questions and see what it might look like if you're interested in working with us, or just to try to get pointed in the right direction. We're happy to help and just be a resource.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Isaac, thank you so much for coming on the Leverage Your Voice podcast today with me. I hope you feel as though you had a chance to leverage your voice.
Yes, Paul, thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. Great. And listen, if you are interested in any more of the podcasts that I have done or any other things that I might do, I'm a vocal coach for speakers. You can visit my website at prvocalcoaching.com. There's a lot of things you can do there. Join my email list, other things like that, whatever might work for you. So that's going to bring this event to an end. Dr. Isaac, you have been a marvelous guest. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's see how we do in the next one. One thing I say is this. As each guest comes on, I say, hey, if we do a really bad job, I might have changed the name of the podcast. But, with each guest, they never do a really bad job. So I can keep the name, and the same is true of you. We've made it. We did it, and it worked out great. How's that?
It was great. Thank you.
All right. So thank you all for joining us. Appreciate it. We will see you next time. Bye for now.